Hey guys, my name's Crystal Kenny, and I'm in love with creating. All things artistic and imagination involved. I'm an American girl who chased her creative dreams all the way to Paris, France, making a living using photography. This podcast takes you inside the stories of all the artsy folks I've met along the way and gives you that extra push to discover your creative gifts. The desire to create is deeply inside each and every one of us, and I give you the tools and inspiration to find a new way of living a more creative life. This is La Vie Creative, the podcast. My guest today is originally from England, but she moved to France in 2017 and started her pet painting company. She had never been a painter before and just picked it up randomly, which is very impressive in my eyes. So we chat today about what it's like to paint people's pets in France and how the countryside influences her artwork. Please welcome to the show, Julia Bird. So welcome to the show, Julia. It's so nice to have you here. Julia Bird. I love your name. It's so easy to remember. And it is your actual name, right?
It is my actual name. Yes, there have been many jokes over the years. So it's actually quite nice to use my name as part of my business.
It's great because it's so easy to spell, and you even have a great domain we were just talking about. I'm sure French people give you some funny looks when you tell them your name, though.
Yes, definitely. Or a few flapping wings, etc. Yes, I've seen it all.
Well, at least they remember you.
Yes.
So I just want to dive into who you are and what brought you to France. I mean, you're from England originally, and what made you make the move over to France?
Well, I've always loved France. I mean, I was born literally with a view of France. I was born in Dover, on the southeast coast of Kent, and you could literally on a clear day, I could see France from the village that I grew up in for the first 10 years of my life. So it was kind of always there on the horizon. My family's always had a great love of France too. My mother came to Paris in the late 50s when she was 18 and had a great time. So she often used to speak about it. And then it turns out that my great grandparents came to Boulogne and had a little shop there in the 1800s, which was something that I recently found out about as well. So
You've been connected for a long time. Your whole family's always had an appealing relationship with France. It's funny because the British always have this thing about like the French and the Brits don't like each other and blah, blah, blah. Is that true? Like, do you guys not get along? It sounds like your family gets along.
Well, no, definitely. We've always loved France. And I mean, when I was at school as well, I was at school on the coast in England, and it was always like a big deal to have the day trip to France, go across on the ferry and buy nice things in the shops and eat pastries and things that we wouldn't necessarily get back home. So yes, that was great fun.
I was going to say, that sounds so nice. Just take ferry to France for the day. I can't even know. How long did that ferry trip take?
I think it took just under 2 hours. So it was exciting. No, not very long. And it was a good day trip. So the whole day, and then you'd come back, early evening.
Do they still do that? Like when it's not all this craziness?
Yes, you can still go across on the ferry. It's kind of, they've obviously got the Eurotunnel now as well, which was exciting when it first opened, etc. And you can get there much quicker. But there's something rather kind of nice about arriving, seeing the white cliffs disappear, and then seeing the coast of France appear, and being on an actual ship. It's rather, I like that. So
yeah, I've never done the ferry. I've done the Eurostar a million times, and like you said, it's so fun just to go for the day or even a weekend or whatever. It's so easy. I don't know how it's going to work with Brexit and all that.
Oh, I know. Don't mention the word.
The word that should now be spoken.
No.
Let's talk a little bit about your art. So you're a painter. You like to upcycle, it sounds like. You combine the old with the new and put your artwork on it. You also specialize in painting pet portraits. So tell me a little bit about your artistic story.
Well, yes, it's actually a new career for me, although I wanted to be an artist when I first left school and then got steered in other directions. But I've always been quite a creative person, and I've always loved making and painting and doing things. But it was only really when I moved to France that I had to kind of think of a new career. My life before that had been with horses, with Spanish horses for 30 years, but it was not a thing I could necessarily do very easily over here. So it was time to have a rethink. I did bring one of my horses with me, my last horse that I have. And then it was like, right, maybe now is the time. It's not too late. How about trying putting my artist hat on and having a go. And I actually started off, somebody asked me to paint a couple of birds, funnily enough. So then it was like, oh, bird, the name, and it kind of came about with that. I love nature anyway, so it was something that I found came quite naturally to me, painting animals and painting nature. And I've got pets as well. We've always had dogs and things in our family too. So that seemed quite natural as well, just to start having a go at painting animals, people's pets.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
seems like I'm always an admirer of people who can paint people or animals or whatever, because it's kind of difficult. It's a lot different than just painting a flower or something. There's so many more characteristics and details and to get their personality. I mean, how did you develop those skills?
Yeah, I don't know really. It's something that I always find I need to see their eyes. So quite often, obviously, I don't get to meet the pets. It'll be done from photographs and things, because obviously if I'm not near somebody and that I can't actually see the pet, I might see a little video and different photos. But I always feel that once I get a good photograph and a picture of the eyes, I can kind of get a glimpse of how they are, what their character is like and their personality. And that does seem to be what people pick up on when I've done the portraits. They're like, oh, you've just captured their expression or a little bit of their character. And I feel they start to come to life. So I often literally start with the eyes, which is crazy. I don't know how other artists start, but I will do the basic outline in white, and then I will start with the detail of the eye and then build the rest of the portrait around that. So that seems to be the way that I've done it, I suppose. And that then I feel I get to know them a bit and the personality starts to come out. Yeah.
It's so interesting. The eyes are really difficult too. And you just kind of dove into that. You had no formal training or anything like that. You just picked up a paintbrush one day.
No, which is a bit crazy. So sometimes it feels a bit weird calling myself an artist, but I did quite a bit at school and things, and I did a few art classes for pleasure as an adult, but I haven't really had any other kind of formal training. No, so I've
That's
been
amazing. You're
learning as I
natural
go
born.
along.
Yeah, I mean, even if you go to a school or anything like that, that's kind of what you're doing anyway. You're just paying a lot more money. You're paying for someone to read to you. You just jumped right in. I like it. And you
Oh.
mentioned in your bio that, you wanted to pursue an artistic career, but it kind of wasn't allowed or wasn't, normal to do that. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, when I was at school, I changed schools, and we have A levels in the UK, and I ended up doing, I think, 4 A levels. So it was quite a lot all at once at the time, and art was one of them. And then I kind of got squeezed, like, oh, we think you should concentrate on the academic ones, and what are you going to do? And I also lost quite a good art teacher at my previous school, and the one that I had for the A levels wasn't so great. And so I ended up having to kind of put it to one side and just concentrate on the other subjects. And then really, I didn't go back to it. My life kind of went in a different direction. So yeah.
It's interesting how art teachers can influence us so much. I know, like, my art teachers were my favorite people growing up. I used to skip recess to hang out with them
Yeah.
and help them with their classes. And they were just some of my favorite people.
Yeah, the school I was at for O levels, we had a lovely Ruth Cousins. She was actually a Royal Academy artist, and she had a big long plait. I remember that, and the art studio was just such a cool place to hang out. It was just really relaxed and lovely, and she was so encouraging. I remember having a go at sculpture as well and making a kind of life-size seal, which kind of lived in our basement at home for ages. This great big pottery seal.
You had good parents.
Yeah.
Keep it in the basement. And so talk a little bit about, you mentioned that you were working with Spanish horses before. That's so fascinating. You were training them.
Yes. My other great love was horses. So I did end up building my career around that. So I taught classical riding for 25 years, and got into Spanish horses. So I've trained various stallions and bred a couple of Spanish horses. And then also I used to advise people on buying Spanish horses as well. So got to know a lot of Spanish horse breeders. I've done a bit of judging too. So the crazy thing is I haven't actually painted any yet. I don't know whether I'm kind of
Ah,
don't know whether I can do them justice but that is on the agenda. That is on the cards. I have to paint some horses, but I haven't actually painted any yet.
oh,
So,
that's so interesting. I was going to ask you because I was looking at your website. I was like, where are the horses?
oh, I know. A few people have asked me that, so it's on my to-do list. I mean, I've
Horses
got
are,
a beautiful
and what was
stallion,
it?
so I should paint him really, but yeah.
Yeah, I saw the picture. He is beautiful. I have a friend back in the States and she loves horses and she has a couple horses and she always wants to go riding every time I come home. And the horses, they terrify me. I'm
Oh
so
no!
scared of horses. I like to look at them, but I have no desire to be on them. They're just so big and powerful and they can kind of tell how you're feeling. And I think they know I'm terrified and they just like to like
Yes,
mess with me.
they do. Yeah, I used to do some horse therapy and things as well. So, where you use and actually women's empowerment using horses. So people that hadn't been around horses at all, and we'd have people on the ground, and it was a really great process actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
horses are very emotionally sensitive. They use them in with prisoners as well, like to train them and things like
Yes. Yeah, and treating PTSD, things like that. Yeah. Yeah, they're fascinating animals.
So you were kind of doing therapy with horses before, and now it sounds like you're doing like art therapy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. I'd like to do some classes with, well, when things open up again. Obviously it's been the craziest, weirdest year last year, so not quite how we all planned things to be. So that interaction with people is definitely missing. I'm looking forward to being able to see people again and possibly maybe even have some like art sessions here and have a live horse model. That kind of appeals to me as well. Maybe doing some drawing classes and just where people can kind of be around a horse and sketch. That might be a way of starting my horse drawing efforts.
Yeah, that's what you're waiting for.
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
was curious about that because when I read that you were painting animals, I'm like, does she have like a dog sitting there for 3 hours while she's painting? Like, how does she do that exactly? Have you ever done like live animals or is it always a photo?
Usually a photo, yes. I mean, sometimes I'll get a bit of an idea from seeing a dog live. I did have a couple that have visited, and obviously I've got my own dog as well. But yeah, he's not great at unless he's sleeping. He's not great at sitting still.
I don't think any pet is unless they're
No,
super old. And if they're sleeping, you can't get your eye spot. So that's what you
absolutely, that's no good.
So talk a little bit about how nature and the countryside is very helpful in creativity. It sounds like you're living in this little oasis of nature. How does that affect your creativity?
Massively, actually, it's kept me sane through lockdown. Just getting out
Mhm.
in nature, hearing the birds, seeing looking at things on a more minute level as well, because when everything kind of closes down and you can't get out and about much, and you just I can step out into my field or my garden, and then you start to observe kind of the blossom on the trees, try and see even little insects and things walking around, the flowers up close. I find it really inspiring, and I do love painting that side of things as well. So in my own art, I mean, I need to produce some more original work. I would love to do a series of nature portraits. I've got a big old door. I don't know its history. It almost looks Middle Eastern to me, but it's not. It's obviously Breton, but it's got
Mm.
different raised surfaces and sort of cutouts things on it. It's kind of a weathered old door. And I've been meaning to paint on it for ages. And I thought about painting a whole load of nature that's disappearing. So lots of different insects and things like that. So rather like
Mhm.
a sort of statement piece, really. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, like before the door closes. So talking about all those bits of nature that are on the verge with climate change and things like that. Yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting. Like you said, before the door closes, it's a nice like connection. And I know you worked a lot with recycled materials, so you're working with like old doors and things like that.
Yes.
Talk about some of the materials you use and how you find them.
Yes. Well, I love the slate that we have here in Brittany, which has been used for obviously the roofs of the houses here for a long time. And I've got some very old slates, big heavy old ones, and smaller ones as well. So they've all come off old roofs, and they have just a beautiful quality about them. They almost have like little flecks of gold in them. Some of them, some kind of warm orange tones. So I find them really a little bit challenging to start with, working out how to paint on them, because I have to kind of sketch in chalk or white pencil, and then I have to literally kind of white it out. So, because obviously otherwise it keeps absorbing the paint. So I then,
Mhm.
so if I'm doing an animal or a bird, I will then, sketch the outline, and then I will have to fill it all in white, and then put the paint on top of that. So then put the finish filling it in on top of that. But it makes this lovely, almost kind of 2D effect, so it really kind of comes to life. But it's just such a beautiful material. So I've made quite a few beautiful house signs for people, and then some for businesses as well. So I love the idea that something that's been on a roof for 200 years can then have another life again.
Mhm.
Something beautiful on it.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And what made you first think to do that? Was it just because you were living there and you kept finding these old materials?
Yes, yes, I think so. And I thought, oh, it'd be cool to paint on. I knew you could do things, people sometimes engrave on slate and things. So I knew it was a material that would work for signs and things like that. But as far as actually painting on it, art on it, I had to kind of a bit of trial and error, really. So
Mhm.
I've gradually kind of changed my techniques over time, and realized that how much paint I have to apply, like a white base, to actually get the color to show. Um, yeah, things like that. So I'm still learning. I'm kind of learning and changing my style all the time. And then
I'm
obviously
sure.
sealing it so it can cope with the weather. But they seem
Yeah,
to be coping quite well. I have some signs up now that people have had for a couple of years, and they're doing well. So, which is good to
yeah,
hear.
I was curious how you figured out even how to paint on some of these materials because, like you said, like the stone is absorbing the paint, or I'm not sure how wood reacts. Like, is there a material that's like the most difficult to paint on?
I have painted on a few stones. Somebody's actually asked me to paint a kingfisher on a stone. Again, I picked a couple of boulders. They're beautiful round stones from Bonaparte Beach here on the top coast in Brittany, which has got a rather wonderful history. Well, in World War II, there were some amazing women, young girls, who used to take the Allied airmen across minefields and things to the coast to waiting
Wow.
submarines and things. And I thought, wow, that's quite a story. So I visited the beach and things and just picked up a couple of boulders, and then I thought it'd be quite fun to paint on them. So I painted a puffin, and that was quite challenging with the texture, and also because it's not a flat surface either. They're kind of rounded. So
Mhm.
I will have another go. I will be doing a kingfisher for somebody. So we'll see how it goes.
So, yeah, like you said, you can use materials from everywhere, and just going to these different parts of Brittany is very inspiring for you too. Would you say you try to work in some of the history, or is it just by using the materials, you're kind of remembering history and then adding other things to it?
I think I would like to use more of the history as well. Yeah, and then the stories behind the materials too. I did a portrait for somebody in the UK recently with three dogs on, and it was a piece of beautiful old piece of wood. My dad lives out here too, and he's kind of a retired master craftsman, so he's wonderful at treating wood, working with wood. So he managed to kind of sand it down and get it looking respectable for me. But we reckon it was a piece of wood that had been in his barn, had come out of the house maybe about 1900. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, had some history behind it, which is
So nice you can work together too. How fun.
yeah, it's great. I have also painted on a couple of vintage objects. Again, there's a bit of I've got two items on my website at the moment. I've got a box which is a 1930s cigarette box, and it belonged to a lady in the Women's Volunteer Air Force in the Second World War. And I painted a butterfly on it, and I just thought it's a rather beautiful thing. So obviously, it's not going to have cigarettes in these days, but it's got I've painted a peacock butterfly on the top, and it's just a rather lovely object. So it'd be nice for it to have a new life again with some little treasures inside it or something. And then
Yeah,
also a cigar box, which is an Indian cigar box. Apparently, the ones that Winston Churchill loved. So again, it's another box from the 1930s, made in India to have the Trichy cigars in. So I've
oh,
painted. I've actually painted a horse on that, although it's a very stylized horse. It's a traditional style Indian horse, and then I've done a little bit of Indian style decoration around the top on
it
that
sounds so
box.
beautiful. How fun that you're able to like mix these mediums too, like the old with the new. I love it.
Yeah, so that's rather lovely as well.
And you find these materials at the brocante, or like you said, your
Yes.
father's house?
Yeah, some I found at the Breton. Those two actually came from the UK, from people there. So that was rather nice. So I was actually given both those items because they knew that I liked things like that, and perhaps I could do something with them. And obviously they had stories with them as well, which I love. I love a good story and a bit of
Hmm.
history. Yeah.
Yeah, talk a little bit about storytelling and creativity. Do you think that's a big part of creating something new, is storytelling? Do you think it's a part of creating?
Yes, I do. I do. I love a story behind something. I suppose I should get a bit better at doing a blog and telling some stories. So I'm probably better at talking them. So maybe I should have a go at actually writing them and putting them on my website. Another thing to learn and do.
Yeah. No, it's not easy, because we just want to make art, but instead we have to be an accountant, we have to be a marketer, we have to do
Absolutely.
everything else. There's so much that goes into having your own business.
There is. I think it's the trying to do divvy out the time. So you've actually, I mean, sometimes I think I do need like kind of, three pairs of hands really. And the
Mhm.
time when I'm actually painting as well, it's amazing how the hours can kind of fly by. Yet when it's
Mhm.
to do a bit of marketing or to pay attention to my website, then it's like, oh dear.
Yeah. This is so long.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about the business side. So, do you have help, or do you try to do everything yourself, or do you have any advice for artists who want to start their own creative business?
I think definitely give it a go, but it is hard. And yes, I would like to have more advice. There have been some good groups on Facebook. We've got a little group called Ladies in Business in France. That's been really helpful for making connections and finding people, and where we can kind of help each other and bounce ideas off each other. So so
Mhm.
so that's been helpful. I'm a firm believer in women kind of helping each other. I love the network of female business women. I've also got a nice band of kind of virtual friends on Instagram who are lady business owners as well. And some of them I haven't met, but we've just met each other virtually. But it's quite a nice sort of supportive group of people again. So I love the idea of kind of lifting each other up and helping each other, that I think women are particularly good at.
Mhm. Yeah, it's so great with technology too, because we can connect with people that normally wouldn't be in your world. So, like you said, the Facebook groups and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm still very much a face-to-face person as well, but obviously we've all had to kind of change and adapt. And it is nice to be able to meet people kind of around the world, really, virtually.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know a lot of times women have, we have this kind of thing where we say women can be catty and they don't want to help each other and yada yada. But in France, I've experienced just the opposite. Like you said, people have been so helpful, and I've had some great collaboration with other female artists. It sounds like it's the same for you.
Actually, that's a great word, collaboration, because I would love to do some more collaboration. I would like to meet more French people. I suppose being creative as well, I probably have far too many ideas in my head. So it's trying to kind of filter them out and, work out which ones are maybe going to work and which ones maybe not going to work. But I love the idea of maybe collaborating with somebody on a children's book that involves nature. I'd love to do the illustrations. So if there's anyone out there that would like to do anything like that, I'd love to be part of something like that. So yeah, I love collaborating as well. I love the idea of different artists and different creators producing something together.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm right there with you with having too many projects I want to do and trying to
Yeah.
we just get so excited about all these different things.
Yes. Yeah. So sometimes I jot a few things down, but yeah, sometimes my brain is just like, oh my God, it's too full of stuff. Come on,
Yeah.
girl, sort it out.
And so how do you end up choosing what you actually want to do?
Oh, that's difficult. That is the difficult part. Yes. Um, I'm still working on that.
Yeah, me too. Tell me when you figure it out.
Yes.
And talk a
I
little
did
bit
actually
about
get a really good planner to try and sort of organize myself better, but I must admit I'm still getting to grips with the whole planning thing. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's very artistic of you. And talk a little bit about why you think creative people are attracted to France. Like, why do you think so many come here?
Oh my gosh. So many things. I think they're how they are about life generally, I think. good conversation, friends, food. The whole artists have always been attracted to France too. The light. I mean, I haven't managed to venture further south, but I've always loved the Mediterranean. And then even some of the creators that have come to Brittany as well on the coast here. It's just something about France that kind of draws us creative folk, I think. Yeah. Don't.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I ask this question on every podcast, and there's all different answers, but I've just come to think it's some kind of energy here from all the past artists, and we're just kind of living in it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no real explanation. I mean, there's plenty of beautiful places in the world.
Yes.
But there's something really special about France, and I think there's been so many before us, and we're just kind of surrounded with that. It's somehow it imprinted itself here.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. In the air.
In the air, quite literally. And do you have advice for other people who believe that they're not creative or they're not good at anything? What would you say to those people?
I think everybody can be creative in their own way. I mean, that's the beauty of art, really, isn't it? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I mean, art is whatever you want it to be. So I think art is a great sort of therapy as well, and it makes you feel good to create something. So I think everybody should have a go. You'll find what suits you, and just give it a go. And there is so much now. I suppose that's the other thing with the internet, which is good. There's so much stuff that you can look at and see how to do something or create something or to get ideas and to just have a go with it, really. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And do you think that there's anything that is, is it possible to make new things anymore? Like, isn't everything just some kind of recycled or upcycled idea? Do you think anything is completely authentic anymore?
Oh gosh, that's a difficult one. I don't know. What new, new in a different way. So yes, I suppose everything's got a bit of something else in it, but it's somebody else can make it seem completely different because it's their take on it, their interpretation. That's the beauty of it, isn't it? It's the beauty is in the eye of that individual beholder, how they see it, and they might see it. I often wonder. They always say, can animals see colors, or do they see colors differently? And sometimes I wonder if us as humans see colors differently as well. How do we know that somebody sees colors the same way that we do? I always find that fascinating as well.
Yeah. Well, I think studies have shown that they don't. I think we all see it a little differently.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like when I see colors in an animal's fur, for example, sometimes I'll pick out all sorts of kind of shades of purple or blues or whatever, and I'm thinking, gosh, can the owner see that color? Am I seeing the right colors? But that's what I'm seeing, so that's what I'm going to paint. Yeah.
Have you ever finished a project and the family member was like, "That's not my little furry baby"? That's how they look like.
Oh, touch wood, not yet. So
That's great. That means you're good at your job.
Oh yeah. Hopefully, so far they've all liked my interpretation. Obviously, it is my interpretation, but usually they might have seen some of my work already and thought, yes, they like my style or how I represent the animals. So again, everyone has their own individual style. I think with painting pets and any form of wildlife. So some styles will be somebody's taste and maybe not somebody else's.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what's great about art.
Yeah, definitely.
We can put our own spin on it. And have you been able to connect with the local community? Like I've heard in certain parts of the countryside of France, sometimes it's hard to connect with the locals. Has that been your experience or not so much?
No, I found people here in Brittany really friendly, really lovely. My neighbours are quite elderly, and obviously with this last year of having COVID and things, it's been difficult to kind of make new connections and meet new people. So I'm always open to meet new people. I'd love to do a bit more and find out a bit more about the artistic community here locally. But my neighbours and things have been absolutely wonderful, and they're a couple of them are widowers, but they're just amazing. They're in their 80s and they're such characters. So I think I've got a lot of respect for the Breton women. They're really quite feisty feisty, amazing people. Both of them have got me quite tiddly. I've had drinks with both of them, and I've thought, gosh, if I can be like you in my 80s, then I'm on to a good thing.
Oh, that's so fun. I love it. I've heard that too, like since a lot of them are kind of nutty and fun out there. I always like that. And do you have any future projects that you're excited about?
I think doing some more original art pieces. I've got some beautiful pieces of carved wood that were actually part of a Breton unique bed, which I didn't even know it existed. And I've only just identified this piece of wood that I've got is something called a lit clos, which is used to be a Breton, almost like a cupboard, like a bunk bed cupboard thing. And apparently they used to have them in the traditional Breton houses, and the family would kind of snuggle in these kind of bed cupboard things. So this was a piece of one of those that I found in my barn, and it's got beautiful carving on it. So I want to paint some wildlife on the chunks that I've salvaged. So there will be a series of paintings. I've done one so far, which is sold, which was of a hare. So I'm thinking foxes, and other animals like that, perhaps another hare too, on these pieces of wood. So they're unique. There's just a few bits of them left, but I think it's probably walnut. I'm not sure. And it's got some carving on it. So it's got some kind of foliage carved on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting. I mean, you're not only buying a painting, you're buying an antique when you buy your artwork.
Yes. It's probably seen a few things as well. It's like, wow.
Yeah, there's some history there.
Yeah.
I love how you combine nature with history like we were talking about. And where can people connect with you online?
Well, that's probably the main place is my website, which hopefully is fairly easy to remember, which is birdinfrance.com.
That is a great domain name. I can definitely remember that one.
And on that, I've got links to my, I have a Facebook page, Bird in France Art, and also I have Instagram as well. So yeah, you can connect with me on all those platforms. Yeah.
And do you ever do like live painting or anything like that?
I am trying to. I've just been looking. I've been Googling little twisty things that I can mount a camera on, because I am still a learner at all this. So I'm hoping to be able to clamp a camera onto the side of my art table and do some videos of me doing different processes, and maybe trying to record, the process through a painting from start to finish.
I think that's a great idea.
That's the plan.
Well, I look forward to seeing it. And thank you so much for chatting with me today, Julia. I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you very much. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thanks so much for tuning in to La Vie Creative. You can find more information on MissParisPhoto.com. And if you enjoyed this show, please feel free to share and spread the word for all my creative guests. We have the power to help them to keep doing what they love. See you next time.